Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time we're really diving into something pretty intense. It's this perspective on life that's all about pushing yourself to the absolute limit and going after what you want no matter what it takes.
Yeah, there's this almost an obsession with self-reliance.
Right.
This idea that you're in the driver's seat, like you're saying, this is my life and I'm not letting anything or anyone get in my way. That's powerful stuff, especially in a world where everyone is telling you what to do and how to live.
It's almost like a big screw you to all the expectations.
Totally.
But then it gets even more intense.
Yeah.
Because there's this constant need for vigilance. Like you need to be on guard against something.
Yeah.
But what? What are we supposed to be so vigilant about?
I think it's about those things that can subtly sidetrack us from our goals.
Okay, yeah.
Like societal pressures, the need to fit in, even our own doubts. I think being vigilant means constantly asking yourself, am I making choices that are right for me, or am I letting others control my life?
That makes me think about all the imagery of light pushing back darkness in this source.
Yeah.
What do you think that light represents?
For me, I think it's that inner strength, that determination that helps us get through tough times. It's like having an internal compass that guides us toward our goals, even when things are chaotic.
But then things take a bit of a dark turn. Because
Yeah.
this source talks about being ready to sacrifice a lot. I mean, a lot. Relationships, comfort, even the so-called stability of the mind, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That honestly kind of freaks me out a little.
Yeah.
Like, who would be okay with that?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
This source isn't about normal everyday success. This is about complete devotion to something bigger than yourself, something that really speaks to your soul.
So it's about like a yearning for something more.
Exactly, even if it means taking a path that most people wouldn't dare to go down.
Then there's this line that just throws me for a loop. Isolation is a gift. We're always told that connection is so important. So how can shutting yourself off from the world be a good thing?
Yeah, I think we need to look at this a little differently. Isolation, here, it's not about being completely alone.
Right.
It's about creating space for yourself to think deeply.
So like stepping away from the chaos.
Exactly, disconnecting from everything that's demanding your attention so you can really connect with yourself and figure out what's truly important.
Yeah, it's about building this inner sanctuary where you can actually, confront your deepest fears and question everything you think you know, and really listen to that voice inside you that's often drowned out by the world.
I get it, but it still seems so backwards, especially since this source makes it clear that this is not going to be easy. It keeps talking about endurance and never giving up. It's like training for a marathon, not a... Yeah, exactly. This path, it demands resilience.
Yeah.
It's about facing setbacks and doubts, those temptations to quit, and still choosing to keep pushing forward. And what this source is saying is that it's through that commitment that you tap into something truly remarkable.
Like what?
It's like a deep sense of fulfillment, a connection to something bigger than yourself, even a kind of inner glow.
There's that light imagery again. So the more you push through the darkness, the brighter that light shines.
Such a powerful image, right?
Oh.
And it leads us to the most mysterious part of all of this. The phrases, the decisive battle and the fullest smile. What are your thoughts on those?
Those are tough ones. The decisive battle makes me think of a final showdown. Like after all that endurance and sacrifice, there's this one make or break moment.
Okay, yeah.
And then the fullest smile. Maybe that's the feeling of pure joy and satisfaction when you come out on top.
I like that. It really highlights how transformative it can be to face your deepest fears and overcome those battles, both internal and external, and you come out stronger and more fulfilled.
So what kind of battles are we actually talking about here? Is it like conquering a specific fear or achieving some huge goal, or is it something inside us? Like a battle against self-doubt?
That's what's so great about this source. It leaves it open to interpretation. It's like it's inviting each of us to figure out what those decisive battles are for ourselves, what challenges would bring you that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of being aligned with your true purpose.
That's a lot to think about. It reminds me of that idea of really owning your life. This source is pushing us to not only dream big, but to fight for those dreams, embrace the challenges, the sacrifices, even the isolation. Because on the other side, there's a level of fulfillment that most people only imagine.
Yeah, it's about realizing that real growth often happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. It's about pushing past the fear, past the doubts, past taking the easy way out, and discovering that incredible strength that's inside you.
So basically, this source is saying that the path to fulfillment is hard. It'll demand everything from you. But the reward, that fullest smile, is worth the effort.
And it's not even just about the end goal. It's about how you change along the way.
Right.
Discovering who you truly are when you're tested. When you're pushed to your limits and you choose to keep going even when you want to give up.
It's like those challenges, those decisive battles are actually gifts.
Yeah.
They force you to dig deep and find that inner strength and become the best, most radiant version of yourself.
Like they say, the obstacle is the path. So maybe the struggles aren't something to avoid. They're what shape you into who you're meant to be.
So where does all of this leave our listeners? What can they actually take away from this? I mean, it's inspiring, but it's also a lot to process.
I think this perspective is really challenging, but it makes you think about what's really important in your life. Like, how do you define success? And are you willing to push yourself beyond what's comfortable, to really embrace challenges? Maybe even seek out those decisive battles to find your own fullest smile.
It's not about following one specific path. It's more like using these ideas as a way to discover yourself.
Right.
Like what feels right to you, what makes you want to reach for something more.
It's about asking yourself the hard questions and being honest with the answers. Maybe that means making changes in your life, stepping outside your comfort zone, or maybe even facing some fears you've been avoiding.
It always comes back to taking control of your life.
Exactly.
That drive that says, this is my life, and I'm going to do something amazing with it.
And maybe in that process of pushing yourself, you'll find strength you never knew you had.
And find that fullest smile.
It's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you to think about all of this. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.